BRC20 tokens are still massively popular. And if you've seen my news video this week, you'll know that there's now a BRC stable coin, which means BRC tokens are going absolutely nowhere. If you're new to BRC token 20s, then this video is definitely for you. And if you're more experienced with BRC20 tokens, still watch this video because there is an alpha dropped in here where the website hasn't even been published yet. So you could be one of the first to mint one of these BRC20 tokens. So what we're going to do in this video is take a look at the BRC market in general. And then for those of you that are new, I'm going to show you how you can get started minting your BRC20 tokens and buying your BRC20 tokens. So I've just hopped over here to CoinGecko and I filtered CoinGecko down to the BRC20 tokens. Now, this doesn't pull in all BRC20 tokens. It's not an indexer, but it does pull in all of the popular ones that have a market cap, the ones that have already been minted out and actually have a market cap. Now, the market cap on this is showing at 255 million. This is down. This is down substantially in the last week. It's down by, it's almost half of what it was a week ago, as these coins now start to try and find their way in the market and people are trying to build utility on top of them. Now is a really good time to be finding the good ones, the ones with utility. And I'll tell you about some of them later on, so you can pick them up while the price is down. But because a stable coin has now been launched as BRC20 tokens, we can be assured that BRC20 tokens are going absolutely nowhere. And this could very, very much be the narrative for the bull run. So as I said, we are down hugely in the total market cap, and we can see that the most popular coin, ORDI, is only $7.87 at the moment. It has a market cap of 163 million and a 24-hour trading volume of 40 million, which is still considerably high. In the CoinGecko rankings, it's ranked 195. So it is quite a popular token, but it did have an all-time high price of around $26. If we just go in and have a look, we can see $28. It had an all-time high price. Now, ORDI was one of the first ordinal tokens, the first BRC20 tokens out there. Now, actually, if I click back in there again for the beginners that are looking to find out how to buy these. So these have all been fully minted out, and quite often their launch is a fair launch. And I'll explain that in a couple of minutes. But once they've all been minted out, they can then be submitted to exchanges to be put up on sale, or they can be sold within the Unistat marketplace and stuff like this. But if we go down here and we hit markets, in here we can see all of the exchanges in which you can go to buy these tokens, this particular token in, and you can do that for each and every one of these ordinals that are listed on CoinGecko. So that's one way of finding out how you can buy them, and then you can buy them then against your other cryptocurrencies that you may have within that exchange. And it doesn't mean that you have to set up a new wallet or anything like that to use them. Now, just to give you a quick overview on the actual market size and why these are important. This image was made a week ago when the market cap of BRC20 tokens was a little bit higher. In fact, it was twice as high there. But if we compare this to the market cap of ERC20 tokens, we can see that we still have huge amount of room to actually grow in this market. Now, this comes from Daily BRC20 on Twitter, and they have another tweet as well that I want to show you. And this is the total unique users by ordinal marketplaces. So here we can see that the Unistat wallet, they have 31,000, almost 32,000. Ordinal wallets, almost 28,000. Magic Eden, ORDI Swap, Ordinals Market, Gamma, Open Order. So these are different marketplaces in which you can go to buy and to sell your ordinal tokens. So how do you actually get started with BRC20 tokens? Well, I'd recommend that you navigated over to unistat.io, because Unistat not only has a wallet that you can use, but it also has the ability to deploy your own BRC20 tokens, to inscribe stuff into stats, and to use a marketplace. So when you come over here, the first thing you're going to need to do is get yourself a wallet. Now you can download from the Chrome store or from GitHub. Once you get yourself a wallet, do all the normal things that you would do with a wallet in order to secure it. Write down your seed phrase and keep your seed phrase secure at all times. Never share it with anybody else. From this, you're then going to have a wallet address. And you're going to need to fund this wallet with a little bit of Bitcoin. Now, you can fund this wallet from your exchange. You can go to the likes of Binance or crypto.com or whatever exchange it is that you're using and transfer a small amount of Bitcoin over to this wallet. So you can then go ahead and you can interact with the different BRC20s. So once you have your wallet, we can see the wallet here, an image of the wallet here and some details. So it's open source. There's no need to run a full node. This was one of the first wallets for BRC20 tokens. And before that, you needed to run a node. It shows confirmed NFTs and instant change available. So they're just some details about the actual wallet. If you want to set up your own BRC20 token, what you have to do is deploy a token. So how do you deploy a token? Well, if you go to inscribe here, we can see we can inscribe a BRC20 token. And from here, we have the option to mint and we have the option to deploy. Minting is minting one that already exists. For example, the Learn token, $LRN Learn token. And let's say we wanted to mint a couple of batches of these. We can increase the batch number here to 16 and say we wanted to mint 16 batches of this Learn token, and then we would select next. Mint is used for tokens that have already been deployed. If you want to deploy a token, it needs to be only 4 characters long. So you'd put in your 4 characters. Let's just put in any 4 characters here. You put in the total supply, and then you put in the limit per mint. So that means when somebody mints, how many of them can they get? So you can put in whatever figure it is that you want in here. You could even put in the 21 million, if that's the number of tokens you have, mint them all yourself, and then distribute them yourself to your community, whatever way you want to, whether it be by sale or whether it be by airdrop. Once you've selected all of this, you then hit next, and next then makes you double check the information that you have. Once you double check it, it will then ask you what wallet do you want to receive the inscription in. Now, it'll automatically pick up your Unistat wallet for you. So if you wanted to go to a different wallet, for example, a Hyro wallet, you put in the wallet details here, but make sure it begins with BC1P. Because these are the wallets that are compatible with BRC20s. Next, then you need to select your network fee. So this is the cost for you to actually deploy these. So we've got economy, we've got normal, and we've got custom. Now, obviously, the higher the fee you pay, the faster this is going to be processed through the blockchain, because miners are going to pick whatever one is paying them highest to actually process first. So you can see down here exactly a breakdown of this cost, stats in inscription, network fee, service base fee, the fee by size, and the total, along with the current US dollar amount. So you can see it's relatively cheap. It would only cost $3.18 to actually deploy these BRC20 tokens. Now, when you submit and pay, you'll be given details of how do you want to pay this. So you can pay it with a wallet. So if you want to pay it with this particular wallet, or you can pay it with BTC that you have somewhere else. So if you haven't transferred any BTC over to this particular wallet, you can just copy this address here, go to wherever you have your Bitcoin stored, and transfer it from there to this particular account. Make sure you pay the exact amount, so you can copy the amount and you can copy the address. And once you transfer this over, then there'll be a little bit of time for you to wait, and the BRC20 token will then be deployed. Now, when you deploy a BRC20 token, that literally deploys it, it doesn't actually mint them. So you need to then mint them, and minting them is a separate process. Let's have a look on the search tab here now for a minute. And in the search tab, you can search for anything that has been inscribed on the Bitcoin blockchain using inscriptions. You can search for text, you can search for .stats, you can search for .unistat for numbers, you can search for news. So you can see down here all the different news that was minted into the blockchain using inscriptions. So if we go in here to BRC20 and we put in LRN for learn, and we can see that it was deployed with 1 million tokens, and only 0.15% of this has been minted. Now, only 0.15% of this has been minted because nobody actually knows about this at the moment. The website and all is yet to launch, but there is a website that is going to be going along with this, as this represents learning about Bitcoin ordinals and all the activity, the additional activity that's been happening on the Bitcoin blockchain as of late. So there's very little of this minted, and you can go ahead and mint some of that. And I'm going to suggest as a practice that you do go ahead and mint this. And I'm going to show you how to do that now. So in the search, if you know the name of the token that you want to mint, you can click it in here and you can find out all the details about it. Now, BRC20 tab up here. So in here, we get a list of all of the BRC20 tokens. And what we can see here is the token name, the deploy date and time, the progress, the number of holders, and the number of transactions. Now, this information is quite important. The progress is quite important. So all of these have been 100% already minted. And once they've already been minted, people can no longer get them for just the gas fees, and they have to buy them basically of somebody. And that's where people are actually making money. So what they're doing is they're going into the in progress and they're finding BRC20 tokens that haven't been fully minted yet, that are going to have quite a number of holders and quite a number of transactions. Now, you'll see here that some of these are 99.99%. I wouldn't be putting in an order for tokens that are so closely full, because there's a good chance that there are some tokens stuck in the main pool that haven't been accounted for yet, and you may waste your fees because you mightn't get any. Now, down here, we can see a little bit better of a breakdown on this one here. We can see that it's 78% minted. Now, the green means that they have been confirmed before 24 hours. The blue confirmed between 1 and 24 hours, confirmed in 1 hour 0, and in the memory pool is 8. So that means there's 8 orders for this actually currently stuck in the memory pool, waiting for somebody to put them into a block. So that's what these different colors here mean. Now, you can sort these by number of transactions, for example. So we have Sats has over 1 million transactions. It has 14,000 holders, and it's only 5% minted. Now, we can see that there is a serious amount in here that are in the memory pool, but the red and that isn't showing up. So what we can do is click in here, and we can get an awful lot more detail when we click into it. So we see the inscription and we see the supply. The supply of this one is absolutely ridiculously high. If we scroll down a little bit further on this, what we can see is the people that are actually holding this token. So what wallets are holding it, and what percentage of the tokens are they holding? Now, this isn't the percentage of the total number of tokens, it's the percentage of the amount of tokens that's already been minted. So this particular wallet owns 0.12% of these, and you can see all the way down how much of each of these has been minted. So let's go back here for a minute, and I'm going to search for the LRN token, which, as I mentioned earlier, is short for learn. And we can see in here that there's been 16 transactions and there's currently only 1 holder. So this is definitely an alpha, and these tokens are going to be announced to a community very soon, an existing community of over 5,000 people pretty soon when the website is ready. So you are definitely getting an alpha here. Now, if we click into this here, once we click into this, we have the option to trade them, which you can only trade if you have some in your wallet, or we can mint them. Now, we've seen this screen earlier on, but this time we don't have to search for the token because we're minting it directly. When we mint these, we can see that we can mint a batch of them is 100. So if we just close here, we can see there's 1,500 minted. The limit per mint is 100. There's 18 decimals, who it's being deployed by, the deploying time, and so forth. So if we go in here and mint, there is a fee on minting, but it's a free mint. So anybody can come along and mint these, and they're not actually paying for their tokens. All they're paying for is the transaction on the Bitcoin blockchain. So in effect, they're getting these tokens for free. Now, the thing with this is where you find alphas. You mint tokens for free. It costs you very, very little. You hope that they are all minted out and that they then go onto the marketplace and people are willing to pay extra for them. So this is what's making people millions and hundreds of thousands in the BRC20 market. It's getting in on these early. So the amount is 100, but you can do a repeat mint. Now, you can do a repeat mint up to 100. Sometimes, if the blockchain is actually slow, if there's congestion on the blockchain, you'll get a little warning on the screen here saying we can't do more than a repeat mint of 10 due to congestion on the blockchain. But it doesn't say that at the moment. Now, the more of the repeat mints you do, the higher the fee is that you're actually going to pay. So let me show you. If we do a repeat mint of 100 of these, it shows you all of the mints that you're going to do. We will then say next. We can select the number of stats that we want. And if we come down here, it's going to cost us $300, $303 worth of Bitcoin to do this amount of mints. So I'm just going to go back up here, and we are going to go back because we're not going to mint that many of them. I'm going to go back into LRN again. I'm going to show you the difference in the price for if you wanted to just mint 100 of them or one mint. So if we press next and next again, and we scroll down, and we can see a mint of these to just get 100 of them is going to cost us $2.66. So it's absolutely nothing. Even $300, you're minting 100 batches of 100. So you're taking a substantial amount of tokens for $300. And if they all went up to a cent each, you'd really have made a killing on that initial input of $300. So that is basically how you can get started. Now, it's also worth checking out. If I go back to the BRC20 tokens here and we go into, I'm just going to select Ordi, for example. Go over to their Twitter. You can find their Twitter link directly through this. You can also search as well in Twitter for the token name and have a look at the community and see how active the community really is around these. Another thing to look for, and especially ones that have already been minted out that are now really, really dropped in price to beforehand. Some of these actually have a use case or an upcoming use case, should I say. So the Ordi one was one of the first that was ever minted. So it has that value to it based on that. Frax has been mentioned to me a number of times as one that is going to have utility because they're going to be building something like the graph, as far as I know, before ordinals. And we all know how popular the graph has been. So that will be looking at data and being able to pull data. It'll be like an indexer for Bitcoin ordinals. If we scroll down a little bit further, down at the bottom, we've got stats hunters. And I know their utility is they actually have ordinals that are images, and then they have their BRC20 token, and this is their BRC20 token. And if you want to buy some of the images ordinals, you need to hold these BRC20 tokens to actually be able to pay for them. And that's the utility that they have. Oshi is another one. We see Oshi here as well. So Oshi is setting up a DeFi platform around these where you can stake them. Now, this platform isn't ready, and we do hope that they'll deliver. But look, BRC20 tokens are so new. As we can see, the websites even look a little bit old-fashioned because all the tooling and everything isn't yet there. So you're still super, super early when it comes to all of the activity that's happening on the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, as I mentioned earlier at the start of this video, that BRC20 tokens now have a stable coin. And if you didn't see that video that I made announcing the news on this, you can check that out on the screen now.